right, hello everyone. We are live now, and today it's another very special edition of Golden Talks. This is the third time that we are doing a Golden Talk in an English version. If you don't know Golden Talks, this is a program that we do interview with the guys from the IT world and guys that work with helping people in the community and also who do some things that it's remarkable. And we usually bring these guys here to talk a little bit about how things happen to him, how they start in his IT life, his DBA life, and things like that. Okay? And I can see here that we have a lot of people sending some messages to us. Most of they are from Brazil. If you are not from Brazil, please let me know. Okay? So I'm gonna do here in Brazil now. It's an 8:30 p.m. So I'm gonna do a very good night, good evening, right? Actually, to everyone from Brazil. Okay. I can see here that we have Eduardo Cressoni and Frankie. Hi, Frank. How are you? How you doing, man? I have here also Regis and Leonardo Ciccone. All right, and Rodrigo George. I'm trying to say some names, but it sounds like English version. It's not been so cool, right? Okay, and before we start, guys, I need to remind you that all the videos that we usually do here on the Golden Talks, we make also a podcast format. So if you take a look here, you can also see all uh, the other Golden Talks that we already recorded in a podcast version. So you can see on Spotify, you can see on iTunes, and so on. And one thing that is very interesting, if you only know English, we have here two more editions of Golden Talks that we recorded last. One of them is with Bob Kurtz, and the other one is with Sandesh Hall and Anil Nair. If you take a look, Bob Kurtz, it's the 11th episode, and Sandesh Hall and Anil Nair, it's on 28th episode. Okay? So, Ravid's from Australia. Okay, hello Ravi, how you doing? You are also from Australia. Okay. Cheers for you from Brazil, okay? And now this is the time, guys. I'm gonna call now our guest here, our special guest. If you don't know him, I need to say that he's a master. We are very happy to have here on Golden Talks, Fred Denis. So, hello, Fred. How are you? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yes. Thank you
I
too
love
for
I love your
accept.
show.
Thank you very much. Hope you are enjoying and also people here. I know that there are many guys here from Brazil that was very excited to know that we would bring a guy like you here to Golden Talks to talk with us.
Yeah, it's very fun. I like it. I think I met some of those because when Frankie did his training, I came to discuss, discuss about Exadata and things. It was very, very interesting. We were like 10. It was very cool.
Right, that's good. And I can see that you are on the beach. What time is where you are now, Fred?
Yeah, so I live out of Brisbane in Australia. So this is in
Mm.
Queensland, and currently it is 9:30 p.m. A.m. Sorry, 9:30 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia. So that beach, this is a picture I took. It should be 1 hour from where I live.
Mm.
It is real.
Interesting.
So
Oh, it's a real
yeah, so
picture. Very beautiful.
yeah, it's a real picture I took. So yeah, I live in Brisbane, Australia, which is 1,000 kilometers north from Sydney.
Hmm.
And by the way, I am in the move to Sydney, so I should move to Sydney in December.
Oh, that's
So
very
bye bye Brisbane and welcome Sydney.
all
That's
right.
a kind of a new adventure.
Right, that's very good. So you are already on Friday, right? We are here on Thursday,
Yes,
so you are in the future. You are the guy of the future.
yes,
That's it.
yes, but nothing has changed. It's the same as you are, guys. So
See.
yeah, yeah, we're in the future. It's
Oh,
almost a weekend for us.
I
That's a
I
good
would try
sign.
to ask you some things of the future.
Yeah, yeah, we don't know from the Trump and Biden election. We don't know. I don't know. They are
Uh,
counting the voices.
good.
No, we still don't know.
All right. And Freddie, as you are in Australia and Brisbane, as you told, what are you doing nowadays there? Where are you working? With what you are
So
working now? Can you tell a little bit for us?
yeah, so well, when I moved, I'm French originally. So
Hmm.
I moved in
Okay.
Australia 6 years ago, and when I moved in Australia, I started to work at Pitian, where I met Frankie and all the guys. And I left Pitian like in August this year to join Commonwealth Bank of Australia. That's a huge bank in Australia and South Hemisphere or something. And then I joined the Exadata team in the Commonwealth Bank, which is located in Sydney. This is why I'm going to move. So doing Exadata stuff, hardware, software, we have lots of different things, expansions, lots. I'm not sure there is a feature we don't use at the Commonwealth Bank. There is just tons of different things. This is very a huge company worldwide. So we are doing, yeah, I think we have pretty much everything that can exist in terms of configuration, hardware, and stuff like that. So I moved there in August, and then I'm going to join them physically, moving to Sydney in December.
Right, that's very nice. So, you didn't born in Australia. You are a French guy, right?
Yes,
Very
yes.
nice.
I'm French. I moved in 20, well, early 2015, 2014 actually, in Australia with my family.
Hmm.
Yeah, I already spent 40 years in France, so I'm gonna keep my French accent forever. Hopefully, people like it, so that's okay. I cannot lose it, and
Right.
that's it. Yeah, honestly, you know what? I don't know. Often, very oftenly, people ask me, "Why have you moved to Australia?" Because
This is a
Australia
good
is
question.
super nice country, but for people, it's very far away. There is just, like in Crocodile Dundee, there is just sharks, and
Sure.
and crocodiles, and everything can kill you. So
Yeah.
it's true that everything can kill you. I could tell you a thing about it, but
Hmm.
I just wanted to move, try something new, and learn English for me, for my kids. Now my kids are bilingual, perfect French English. No one can say they are French when they speak English, Australian English. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a wonderful asset for them to start in life, right? When we watch TV or a movie on Netflix, we put the movie in French, in English.
Hmm.
For them, you don't even have to notice it. You don't have to say it. Oh, tonight it's in French. They don't get it. And it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome.
Hmm.
Even for us, I mean, speaking English better, be able to go to the cinema, I understand everything. So that was my main reason. And Australia is a wonderful country, very safe, very, very nice. And, in these months with the COVID thing and everything, it's good to be far away, okay? Because Australia is far away from everything. That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of good to be far. So yeah, we moved
Right.
there 6 years ago. Everyone's happy. Wow, it's a very nice country.
Right. Right.
Come and visit.
Right. All right. That's. I have a thing to tell you that we didn't talk yet. I know as you were talking about that Australia is very far away. I know that in Australia things was going good, but then start to get a little bit worse, and now it's getting good again. Cause I have a sister that it's in Australia. Went to Australia in the beginning of the year. She was
Mhm.
supposed to go back, but with this pandemic,
COVID.
COVID, and so on. Uh, uh, how can I say that? Forget the word now. He just do a new visa for more 6 months,
Uh-huh.
and she is now by the end of this year, or maybe next year. And I am like seeing what happens in Australia. And uh, can you
Yeah.
tell a little bit of what you are seeing of things that is happening in COVID? People are staying at home. I know that one thing that this should happen here in Brazil, but unfortunately we don't have. If people are walking the street without mask, or people that don't have any reason to go on the street, they have some, I don't know the name now, but they must,
Fines, they pay, they
yes,
pay
pay
something.
taxes or something
Yes,
like
they are
this,
fine.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
here in Brazil, unfortunately, we don't have this. But when I heard that, I said, "Oh my God, this is very cool, because this is another reason to make people stay at home, right?"
Yeah, the main thing we have to understand about Australia is that because you come from a Latin country, right? And France,
Mm,
Italia, Greece, we are all Latin countries. So the culture is very different. In Australia, the rule is the rule, right? There is, if a kid cannot go in a playground because the limit is 1 meter and the kid is 99.9, there is no way he can go in Australia, right? You can imagine that. I'm not sure in Brazil, but I've been in Mexico. I know it's Central America, it's not South America, but in France, you can negotiate. And so for the COVID thing, when the government in Australia enforce something, everyone follows it. Because if you don't, you're gonna have to pay money, but like $10,000, right? So everyone in Australia is more following the rule. So it goes faster for, to fix the COVID, for this, for that, because everyone is educated in following the rule, which we have less than in our countries, right? You know what I mean, right? So this
sure.
is why it is very efficient here, because when they say lockdown, everyone is locked down, and if you don't lock down, you got fined by $10,000, $15,000, and it happens, right? So usually it is very efficient. It is like on the road when you drive too fast. When I came here,
Mm,
I it cost me a lot of money because I was used
really?
about the French limitation, speed limit
Hmm.
enforcement, which I don't know when it's written 80, you can drive at 90 or 95. Here, oh my God, it cost me a lot. So now in Australia, the rule is the rule. No one can break the rule. So it makes it very efficient, for the COVID. So currently, I think for COVID, we have 200 cases in the whole Australia. So we wear no mask. Melbourne has been in lockdown for a while, but here we have been in lockdown in March or something. But now it's done. I mean, it's done. It's like before. We know it. We wash our hands more, but there is not we don't have the problem that you guys have, or in the US or in Europe.
Yeah, got the point. Thanks God that everything is back into normal there, right? Uh,
For us, yes, and we are very lucky. Yeah.
Good. And we have here some questions that I would like to pick up here. We have more things to talk.
Yes.
We almost uh, didn't start everything, but I have two good questions here. One that is I would like to start with from Regis Araújo. He's asking, what was the moment when you realized how impactful your work blog has become for the worldwide Oracle community? And here in
Mm,
Brazil.
yeah, the thing that I don't really know. I mean, I post something. Well, look, I post something, and after that, the only thing I get is that on Blogger, the thing I used to blog, I got statistics, right? So you got like, I don't know, 200 people, 5,000 per month views or something. But it doesn't mean that people are using, liking, or something. So after that, you got some comments. Or last week, a guy pinged me on LinkedIn and told me I discovered rack status is like discovers a fire. I said, come on, man. It is very nice, right? But okay, I haven't said that. So I don't think I don't really realize how useful it is. I know it is useful for me because I did everything. The first I did it because it was not existing and it was for me first, right? It was very personal stuff. I really don't like to do again and again and again the same thing. So I started to develop these kind of tools and post and everything. So
Mhm.
the real answer to Regis is to say I don't really know what is the impact. I mean, sometimes I meet people who tell me, "Oh, I know your script," and indeed, I'm very happy because it's good to be useful, right? But the impact itself, I don't really know, right? I mean, Elon Musk has an impact, right? Because this guy doing crazy stuff, going to Mars. For me, I'm just doing a couple of tools which are useful for us, and us is a small community. So I don't. So to answer Regis, I don't really realize how impactful it is.
Right. So the impact is too big, you know. We can say we are on the other side, and not only me, but there are a lot of guys here that I'm almost sure that they usually use your scripts and are very thankful for that,
Yes, and
right?
this is very cool. This is very cool. And you know, before Rack Status, in my previous company, I did another version of Rack Status, and it was very bad. The idea was that was there. It was doing basically the same thing, but it was super slow, and I was not
Hmm.
blogging. I was not. I didn't know at this time what an Oracle Ace was doing. I just did it for my team. It was slow but working. Then I redo it, and now it's more efficient. There is another question from Leonardo. When
Yeah.
and how you had the idea of unknown DBA blogs? That's very interesting. So when I joined Pitian, so in 2015, early 2015, Pitian was a big name in the Oracle world. Right?
Yeah.
And I was used to read the blog, and very oftenly blogs on the Pitian blog are thorough, are deep, are very good. So when I joined Pitian, I told myself, yeah, well, I would like to do that as well, right? And I think I put that at my first yearly objective, post a blog on the Pitian blog. So I did it, and I started to do it more and more. And the thing is that, first of all, when you post on your company, you have moderation. So people were changing my titles, or how I wrote the things, and which makes sense, I mean, for the company. And then I realized that, well, if I write something that way, it's because I am a techie and I talk to techies. So if I write data file or ls or something, I don't want anyone to change that, because my audience is not a management. So it is that. And also, when you express your opinion on the blog of a company, you don't want to embarrass your company not being politically correct or whatever. If you say this feature of Oracle doesn't work, but your company has a partnership, whatever. So I really started to say, okay, you know what? I should do that on my own. Then,
Hmm.
if I say something bad, it is on me, on me. Also, well, we don't spend all our life in the same companies, right? So also, you don't want to lose anything. So I started to say, I want to blog myself. So I started. And about the name, Leonardo, honestly, I thought about a lot. I needed to find a name, right? And I got many names which came in my mind. Lots of
Hmm.
them were already used. And it was at the time as, there were lots of Oracle aces at Pitian. And I told them how to become an ace, how to start talking in conferences.
Hmm.
And these guys, were ace directors, talking in conferences, I don't know, 10 times a year, very known and everything. And then I said, okay, they are known, I am unknown, right? So this is why I found the unknown DBA. And I thought that, let's say one day I become super known with the name unknown DBA, it is still like not pretentious, we're humble. And if I am still unknown, well, it would make sense. So I've gone with that. It was good. So this is the
That's
answer.
very
I
nice.
remember I thought about that. I was swimming in my pool, and then it came saying, with all these guys super known, I'm just a known.
No.
And this is
Good. And this.
also, I really like.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, okay, keep go ahead.
I really like the westerns and Clint Eastwood, and the good, the ugly, and the bad. And the treasure at the end is in an unknown grave with no name. So I was thinking about the no name one. So this is what it is.
That's good. That's good.
This is how
And
it came.
yeah, this answer, the Javier Rajan question, he asked some minutes before why you used
Yeah.
an ODBA for your post. So now you're explaining why, right?
Yes. Yes. I needed something. Let's get it. No.
Yeah. And
And
one more thing.
Ravi asked as well. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay, go, keep going.
Sorry. Yeah, Ravi asked a question. When did you start shell scripting?
Yeah.
So actually, the why is that I had no choice. When I started working, I started as a developer in 1998. In Europe, the companies had to use euros from 1999, and for us humans, it came in 2001. So when I was hired by my first company, I was coding and moving from euros.
Right.
So, we had no internet. I don't know, I look like a dinosaur, right? we
Really?
didn't have internet on the computers. So
So
I
how
was
do you
developing
usually
API.
do to search things and
I had a book.
book? All
You had a
right.
book or you had man, man.
Yeah, that's
Man
good,
LS,
man.
man VI, man cat, man,
Right, man,
and
everything.
books.
Right, good.
But it changed rapidly. But in 1998, early when I started, we had no internet in the office because no one had internet. So I started that. After that, I started a year after that. I've been to another company with another guy, which was a senior DBA, and I was a junior DBA. I didn't even know what Oracle was, honestly. And the first thing he told me, he gave me a book. It was Learning the Corn Shell. And he told me, look, you have 1 hour to write a counter to count
Oh,
from 1 to 10. If you can, I pay the beer. If you can't, you pay the beer.
good.
And it started like that.
Good
And
challenge.
I worked with this guy and learned a lot for a year. And it was always based on that. And the only thing to make things automatic was shell script. I mean, shell is default. So Shell Oak said, I mean, in 1998, it was there already for 30 years. So this is the way to go. I mean, if you want to schedule a backup, this is cron tab and shell script. Okay.
Good.
I don't know, and even now you can imagine any complicated scheduler or whatever in any cloud with Python,
Yeah.
API, whatever you want. But cron tab and shell is still the easiest way, right?
Right.
So it started like that. So a good link, he asked, so Ravi, a good link. Look, I think the best way to learn shell script is to have a purpose, to have something to do, then Google for it. After that, Stack Overflow is by far the best forum you will find advices. This is a guy posting there are just gurus if you have questions.
Right.
If not, you just Google for it, Stack Overflow. But I think what is very difficult is that when you say, I want to learn shell scripting, okay, what to do, right? It makes no sense to do man cat, man ls, man pipe, whatever. So you need to have something to do. Like, I don't know, I want to make a nice table with the users from etc password. You have something, then you can start working on something to do. After that, honestly, Google, man, you can ask me, or Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is the best forum. You will find it.
Great. Great.
Right.
Right. So this is the two sites that you usually use to get some information through, right?
Yeah. Now you don't need any documentation. You just Google for it.
Yeah.
There is tons of syntax I don't know because I don't have to remember. I don't know. When I was a
Great.
kid,
This is a
you
good
know,
point.
when I was a kid, you know what? I knew the phone number of my parents, my grandparents, all my friends by heart, right? It was hot coded in my head. Nowadays, I don't know any. I just know my wife's phone number. But we have that, right? They remember for us. You don't know
That-
any number, right? Because it's
That's true.
there. So it's the same for the documentation. You don't know something, you Google for it. I mean, documentation is online.
You need to know the way, but usually we don't forget all the way, right? Something like
You
this.
know, I remember in the past, in France, basically people don't speak very good English. And
Hmm.
I remember that people were not upgrading their database because the documentation was not available in French.
Hmm.
When you see that, okay, well, good luck, man. So you should be still in 7, Oracle 7, because I don't think there is. So, you have to evolve and follow the thing. I mean, you like it or not, documentation is online, documentation is in English.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, do something else. I mean, so.
Yeah. This is how thing works, good or bad. Everything on IT world is in English, so we need to have some basic
Yeah, and
things to look things.
I mean, we have to adapt with everything. I mean, look, if you don't like VI, for example, well, I don't know, do another job, right?
Hmm.
Because VI is VI, right? If you can only work with, I don't know, SQL developer, okay, good luck, man, because
Yes,
you
true.
don't have that on a server. So we need to adapt, and this is what we're doing with that cloud move and everyone going to there. I mean, we like it or not, it
Hmm.
is here.
Right,
Uh,
right. And Freddy,
so
uh, you was saying about your first job that we start with programming, right? But
yes, correct.
before that, can you tell us a little bit
Ah,
how you started your interest in or you started liking IT, computers, and how did you
yeah.
discover this big world and how you started working with IT?
Look, when I was a young kid in France, we had, wow, look, I'm going to look like a dinosaur again, but we had like
No.
3 TV channels, right?
Oh,
It was in color, right? And dinosaurs were
right.
dead already. And I don't know, I always liked that. And computing, that kind of modern stuff. And I remember my father bought one of the first maybe French made computer, which was AIM-O number 5. You can Google for it. It look like, even in a museum, they don't have that. When I was a teen, and I started with that. I mean, playing games, and language was basic. So we had a book how to code with basic. So I started a bit with that. And after that, I moved to Amstrad. Um, and I remember I was with a friend, we were using an hexadecimal editor to edit the game's binaries to change the language from English to French or something. And then when we had that, we copied that on a floppy disk and give him, oh, look, I have that new game. And it was written in French by Fred. And the guy had that in front of, it was
Oh.
very fun to do. So I started
Yeah.
like that. And after that, I bought my first PC, started to work on myself. The thing is that I had a cousin which was around my age, which was very, very good with computers.
Hmm.
And when I started to tell my parents, I would like to go in an IT school, right? They always told me, oh no, look at this guy. He was already 10 years ahead of you. You will never make it. So, well, I did something else, but I had that in mind. And when I started my studies, I kind of did a try and fail.
Hmm.
So after my graduation, when you are 18, say the baccalaureate in France, I did some electronics. It was not my cup of tea. I got graduated easily because I was the first in math, in English, and in soccer. And
Good
it was
soccer
enough
too.
to be good in that. After that, I was in a very interesting situation because at that time, military service in France was mandatory. And I'm not against the army, right? But it's not really my cup of tea, right? Waking up at 5 a.m. To run in the forest, it is not really my thing, right? But I had no choice, and I had to go to the military service. But 1 year after that, and I had 1 year of nothing, and I said, okay, I'm not for the army, but well, don't want to anticipate it. It was too much for my mind. So I found 1 year school, which was doing some commercial sales stuff, which was 1 week at the school and 3 weeks in a company. And I found a company where I lived, and this company was selling swimming pools. So I was calling people to sell swimming pools during a year. So it was interesting. After that, I worked again, and finally, I found that my first job in IT. At that time, IT, they were hiring anyone, anyone, and if you were not good enough after a month, this was okay, next. So yes, I was
Right.
hired like that. I learned with books, with guys, with my motivation, and I cried after VI for 6 months, and now it is my best friend. When you
Right.
learn VI, you never heard
So,
about that. You learn VI. What is that thing?
yeah,
And now,
usually VIs make people being crazy for the first times, right?
oh yeah, my God, what is that? Why? Who made that? And now you know how to use it. Say, oh my God, this is so powerful.
Right. And we have a question here from Javi. He's asking, and what do you do when you are pissed off? Tell us.
Well, usually I am a bit vocal, so it's good for me to have a remote position. It's better,
Hmm.
and people don't hear me. And
Hmm.
if not, we don't see it, but I got a basketball system just here, so I have a basketball hoop, so I
Ah,
can play a
really?
bit of basketball. Or I
Good.
have a pool at home, so just go out and walk.
You
But
are.
usually, I am less and less pissed off because I am now 46. So I have lots of experience, so I can see the things coming, and even if I'm not happy by the
Hmm.
decision, I know that it is what it is. But
Hmm.
still, I would say that I am a bit Latin in the temperament, right? Like vocal and say, oh, but no, Latin people talking
Hmm.
with hands, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like in the so I am a bit like that at first, but I always do the things, and I know that okay, you don't always do what you want, and sometimes things piss you off, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, right. And
I,
I talk to Ravi a lot. Yeah, I chat with Ravi and it helps me venting out.
All right, that's good. That's good. And you're talking about being Latin and so on. You know that here in Brazil you are very no. Yeah, that's one thing that Leonardo had said before, and I am just reinforcing here that you are very no
That's
here in
good.
Brazil. And did you have some plans to come to Brazil anytime?
Oh, well, if I could, I would. I mean, for
Good.
me, I'm a big soccer fan. So,
Good.
Frankie, yeah, you are missed during
Yeah.
the team meetings. Yeah. Yeah, it is true that usually, and especially in teams, I mean, I think that we should be honest in a team, right?
Hmm.
When you are 8 people team or something working together, you need to help yourself. I mean, if someone is sick, you need to be there. And I think it is not a good place to be politically correct. So I think we should say the truth, even if sometimes it's wrong. But many people in our world don't accept that. So, okay. Oh, yes. Thanks, Frankie. So to tell you, I am a big soccer fan. So
Good.
Brazil for me is the second best soccer country in the world after France, obviously. So
Only
of course
after
I would
friends.
like to
Okay.
visit. So of course, I mean, if I can, I would come to Brazil for conferencing, and if I go there and see a soccer game in Brazil, it would
Good.
be awesome, right?
Oh,
Because
so
yeah, Brazil is a country of soccer, right?
sure. That's
Brazil
good.
is
Yeah.
Brazil.
What
Brazil
is
is
your
Brazil.
football player's favorite?
Well, I would say that I mean for all time maybe Zidane because this guy. But before that, when I
Hmm.
was young, it was Michel Platini.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, Zidane. But I must say that, for example, I prefer Messi than Ronaldo or
Hmm.
Neymar. There
Good.
was some very crazy. I think that one of the best says in my favorite is Ronaldinho
Ronaldinho.
because this guy has, for me, he has changed the thing, right? He has invented dribbles. I mean, Messi is awesome, Ronaldo is awesome, but I am under the impression that they haven't invented something. They're just doing something better than the others. Whereas Ronaldinho has invented that dribble, like Chris Waddle when I was young. Chris Waddle joined Tottenham to Marseille when they won the World Championship, the Champions League in
Yep.
1993. It was crazy. This guy was, it was kind of playing like a capoeira, like he was drunk,
Yeah.
you didn't
W-
know. And boom, boom, and, oh my God, what is this guy?
Yeah. We
So
usually say that he's the wizard. The wizard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Leonardo says we will never forget the World Cup
Good.
'98. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, because France won. We won. France won in
Right.
Paris, and you know what?
Mhm.
For France, the best game ever is versus Brazil. France
Mm.
Brazil is the top notch of the game, soccer game.
True. Yeah.
Winning that World Cup champion, World Cup in France, in Paris versus Brazil, there is nothing that can be better.
Yeah.
I mean, France Brazil is the top of the soccer game. We cannot have
Yes.
it.
And this World Cup it was historical. It was amazing. But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
with Ronaldo was yes, especially
yeah.
for us. Yeah.
All right, all right. And so, and Rodrigo Jorge say one day you know Pedro, Bruno Henrique, and Gabigol, the best play ever. Yeah,
Oh,
so.
that's
Yeah.
another interesting question, Leonardo. Are you
Mm.
playing with cloud? What are your thoughts to move to the cloud, move on to the world? So look,
Yeah.
so I am certified with AWS and Oracle Cloud. No, not Cricket, man. Sorry. So I did a certification on AWS and Oracle Cloud because it was
Mm.
fancy in my company, and it's always better to have certification than not to have.
Mhm.
I worked a lot in a project before leaving Python with Google Cloud as well. So, I mean, okay, I get the point. What are my thoughts? So my thoughts are, we like it or not, it is what it is. It is good for us because many people move to the cloud, so it's a lot of work for us. So it brings a lot of activity, so it is good. If the question behind that is that, are you impressed by what is in the cloud? I would say, look, 15 years ago, I was renting a Debian server in a French company named OVH. And it was, I mean, the same. Okay, it was not that fancy. I could not do Lambda function and everything, but I had my servers rented in somewhere else. And it took, I don't know, it was taking 15 minutes between my credit card and when I paid and when I got the server. And I mean, so the concept is not very new. So I'm not very impressed, but I'm not saying it is bad. I mean, the
Right.
thing is that the thing is that what I the most fear that move to the cloud is a huge thing. So everyone now being able to draw a square and put an IP on it is a cloud architect. So and now we are often in situations where it is the same like you take a kid, 10 years old, you put it in a big shop with toys for 24 hours. What's going to happen? He will open every box and will play with nothing. And with the cloud, some of the cloud architect, I'm not saying all are bad, but I met lots, they are trying all the options. I got some people telling me, oh, yes, but Netflix does that. Yeah, well, Netflix does that. And then, well, okay, we have one database and 2 users. So maybe we don't need that. So these guys just want to try every feature. So at the end of the day, it's a big mess. But it's like everything, when something is new, you know, you have an adaptation thing. And so I would say, Leonardo, it is what it is. Honestly, it hasn't changed the world for me when I work to the cloud. It is still SSH, VI, and shell script because it is what it is. Okay, you have Python to do this and that. Recently, I worked in, well, before I left Python, I redeveloped a tool because it was not working in the cloud. It is more and more reliable, but I don't know, like 2 years ago, Oracle Cloud was really not finished, I would say. but it's getting better and better. But for us, what does it change? I mean, currently when I log on to a server from Brisbane, it is SSH, PuTTY, Mobile XDR, whatever terminal you use. In the cloud, it is SSH. It is kind of the same. And there is something as well that my old French friend told me that when you start up a Windows computer or your Windows server, okay, and you don't know anything, but you have a mouse and you can click everywhere. So you can try. You don't read the documentation, right? You try, you click, you try and fail, reboot, it works not. When you are logged on a Unix server, you have a prompt, you have nothing. So you have first to learn. So it's a bit of the same with
Good
the
point.
cloud. It looks easy. It looks easy because interfaces are nice. You can click but well, man, you have tough network things behind that. You have tough things to know. So I think it's going to be a bit of a mess during maybe a few years after that, because it's new. So many people rushes in it. But I mean, it is what it is. Honestly, I don't mind. I mean, for example, if you look at what AWS did with Oracle RDS, they did a very good job. I mean, they did a very good job with lots of packages to read alert log, to do tons of things. They did tons of tooling. And before I left Pecan, I also participate to develop an open source project for Google, and Google sells it. Well, sells it. Publish it and maintain it now, which based on Ansible to create databases and rack and data guards. So things are done. But I mean, you know what? 15 years ago, I was contracted to IBM, and I did that in a more simple way. But it was shell script, a cron tab, and we were creating the VMs, the Oracle database. We were able to create the change in the tool with curl. So, behind that, it's almost always the same technology, right? I mean, virtual machines are not new. Solaris was doing that 20 years ago. IIX, IBM IIX.
That's right.
So yes, I am playing with the cloud. What I might thought, it is what it is. It's good for us. Honestly, I'm not very. I don't know. It doesn't change much for me. The thing is that I see more and more people saying, manage Oracle in a container, and okay, it's fun, but what is the point? I mean, I can understand the containers for an application because you need to deploy 100 of them in a minute, but for database, it's pretty much static, right?
Right.
So I'm not sure, but when it's like in a game. I mean, when a new civilization, a new card is introduced, a new meta has to be done. So people are trying things and thinking about that, and a new meta, meaning a new average thing to be done. So I think we are still in a kind of a research phase with the cloud because it's still new, right?
Right. That's
Are
a
you
good
planning to
point.
change your career line, or will stick with technical till you retire, Ravi?
Good question from Ravi.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against changing anything, everything. I don't know, honestly. I think that
Hmm.
when you are motivated and when you're ready to move your butt and work, you can succeed at anything. So honestly, I would even be keen on changing this.
Good.
Yes.
And talking this in this way, we have another question here from Rodrigo. He's asking, talking about Ansible, are you developing tools using automations like Ansible, Docker, Terraform, etc., or the old and good shell scripts? That's a good question.
So the thing we did for Pityan did, and I was part of this team for Google open source, was Ansible based.
Hmm.
So I have no church. I use shell script because it is default on the server I work, and I did Ansible. I do Python for. I tried and I started to learn about machine learning and AI. This is in Python. I won't do that in shell, right? So I think that we should use the best tool for what we have to do. So for me, rack status, it would make no sense to write it in Terraform.
Hmm.
It makes sense in shell. So this is why, I mean, So yeah, I played with Terraform, with Dockers, with that, with Ansible, but I mean, it is not the heart of my job, so I use what it is. But if I would have, I would be keen of on changing and do yeah AI maybe or something totally different. I
Good.
think that you know what, if one day I win at the lottery,
Good.
I think I would stop working because anyone telling you if I win at the lottery, I continue working, they are liars. But
Yeah.
I would like to still be active. So I think I would try to teach code to kids at school based on Raspberry Pi.
That's very good. Cool.
Super small stuff. You can do crazy things, and
Hmm.
I think I would do this kind of thing. So yeah, I would be keen to change. So
That's very nice and good to hear that. Yeah. And
yeah, I think
this is one thing that I also keep on asking of myself. And if I had a lot of money that makes me don't need to work more, what are you gonna do later?
uh-huh.
This is a good question we should ask for ourselves, right? And
Yeah.
just
Also, yeah.
no, keep going.
So
Keep
I
going.
think I would dig more in Age of Empires, the AI, and develop my own
Hmm.
because this is very fun.
Good.
AI for
Uh,
games. Recently, Elon Musk started to do
hmm.
that at Rocket League. They developed a special AI to
Space.
play against pro players,
Hmm.
and this is very interesting. I mean, I think there is lots of things to do in, for example, video games to play against pro
Hmm.
players.
Good.
Develop AIs which can. This is very
Good.
interesting. It is real life thing. I
Hmm.
would be interested in doing that. Yeah.
Right. And talk about career. I have a question here from Frank, and he asking, for someone starting their career today, do you think experience to be an a DBA would be a good choice? Or let's ask to
For
the
me,
right man.
I don't. I think that GBA is dead. I mean, there is no more
Hmm.
GBA. I mean, I don't know, but there is no more GBA. I mean, with that cloud coming, everyone is everything.
Hmm.
So, you know, the DBA role, like we know it, is dead clearly. But the thing is that we have more and more databases. So, I mean, I do things in MySQL, and I roughly know how it works because I have I would say a deep Oracle background. I did some PostgreSQL. I know the concept. So I mean, uh, whether you move to Aurora or whatever or BigQuery, I mean, it is still the same kind of concept of SQL, or you have data saved somewhere and you need to get it right. Whether you name it SQL, PL SQL, NoSQL, you still have a language, a grammar to get the data. So this kind of skill will still be needed, whether your job is a DBA or not. So I think that starting today, Frankie, I would say that someone should go Python, AI, machine learning, because it is fancy and what gives money right now. To
Right.
reply the thing, I think the kids should be strategic, or they should develop an app and sell it. An app with you know, in-app purchase. They should do
Right.
that. Yes, I teach my kid to code, not
Really?
myself because I'm doing shell script, so it's not fun. But I found a very good student teaching my kids to code because I mean, it is to them to find the idea
Hmm.
who will please their the same age group of age.
Right.
So if you are very interesting, I think they should try to develop an app and monetize it,
Right.
or Python AI, something like that.
Right. That's good tips. Thanks for that, Fred. And just one more thing, I can see that we have some good people that it's watching us. So guys, I'm here with Fred Dennis. If you have some questions or if you have any comment that you want to say, feel free to chat in here in the comments, okay? And we will read your comment or question, okay? I have here another question from Frank, and he's saying, What about move to the cloud fashion? Do you think it is move adapt up? Do you think it is move adapt and go back on prime, or you think companies will stick to the cloud? So on premises or cloud, what's gonna happen?
Well, look, I remember when that cloud started, Oracle said, okay, move to the cloud, on-prem sucks, right? And 6 months after that, to say, oh, okay, we have Oracle private cloud in your on-prem. So what has
Hmm.
changed that you pay more Oracle machines and they patch your machine, their machine in your data center.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, the thing that I would say that for small companies, it makes sense to move to the cloud.
Hmm.
If you are a big company with your data centers, you have invested on, you have all the process. Honestly, I don't think it is good. The
Hmm.
thing is that it also depends on, for example, latencies. If you need very super strong non-latency,
Hmm.
honestly, the cloud can say you will have it, but you won't have it. I mean, in real life, right?
Right.
And the outages. Well, I don't know. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I couldn't connect to Oracle Cloud for 4 hours because I don't know something was broken. I mean, this is something to consider. So I think that people will stick to the cloud if really on the long term it works.
Right.
Because, okay, it works, but I don't know. Is there really very big, heavy loaded Oracle databases working in the cloud? Oracle will say yes, of course. Is it
Probably.
real?
Hmm.
Also, with that cloud, you may also have like privacy data needed compliance. Like, I work for a bank. If I go to Oracle Cloud, for example, or AWS, where are my data?
Hmm.
You don't know. They can say you are in Sydney warehouse. Are you sure? Where? How is it? So there is all these questions. So I would say honestly, if I were a small company starting, I would go to the cloud because you have less investments, starting investment, right? Jeff
Right.
Bezos and these guys know how to count. And at the end of the day, I got people telling me, "Oh, can I? If you don't work on that server, can I stop it for the night because it costs money?" Already, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, Jeff Bezos and these guys haven't reached that point if they were bad in math, right? Having good accountants. So at the end of the day, you should pay the same price, roughly, I guess. I'm guessing.
Yep.
So I would say if you are a new company, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead because you have no investment. It's easier to start. But
Right.
if you are an existing company with your data centers, honestly, I would wait and see. Like wait 5 years, 10 years, and why? I mean, why? 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 Is Exadata better, for example, in the cloud than on your premises? If you go with
Good point.
Exadata on the
Yeah.
cloud, you will have Oracle will
Hmm.
take care of all the support. This is good, or is it? I don't know. I'm not sure Oracle is good in patching Exadata, for example. We have experiences where they forgot DB nodes, they forgot that, it's not easy to schedule. Look,
Yeah.
honestly, it's better to hire 3, 4 people, good guys. You pay them well, they do the job. End of the story, right? And you want to go in your data center, you open the door, your data there. So I think honestly, it depends. But for the database world, which is maybe more conservative than the application world, I
Right.
would be very cautious. I would be
Right.
cautious. Having said that, if you are a big company, let's say with Oracle, moving to Aurora or BigQuery, man, is such complicated.
Yeah. It's not a big
Is it worth
decision,
it?
true, right? Yeah.
It is huge. I mean, it's like I want to stop using SAP and move to PeopleSoft. How many $1 million will it cost? Is it worth it? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure. And people have money. I mean, how many clients I have seen using Enterprise Edition, whereas they don't use any one of the feature of Enterprise Edition. So, if you want to save money before moving to the cloud, let's check that. Right? Or,
Right.
you use a small Oracle database with no feature. Okay, yum install MySQL. Okay, start with that. You know, keep it simple. Let the other go to the cloud. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I
Right.
would say be cautious. So, but
Right.
I think to reply, Frankie, we are going more and more into a cloud slash dematerialized world. So it's going to stay. I mean, where are your emails, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
gmail.com, where it is somewhere. And it is good, actually. It is good. Except for our privacy, but we have ad blockers. So, when you look for to buy a new thing on Amazon, you have advertising about that thing after you bought it. So it's
Right.
good and except for that.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna stay a bit, yes. But it is, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe if we can compare or do something that really happened in the past, maybe we can say that it's happened almost like the mainframes, right? The downsize things and so on. Most of
Yeah,
things
yeah,
was moved, was downsized, but mainframe is still it's there, right?
yeah. We still have COBOL developers, right? COBOL is dead for, I don't know, forever. And when you got a problem, oh, we need a COBOL developer. When I started, Perl was king. So no, don't do shell script. Shell script sucks. Perl is king. No,
Hmm.
Python is king. Perl is dead. Shell is still there. So, and everyone has to move from Perl to thing. You still have the same loop. When you run Opatch, oh, I don't have the good Perl library. Okay, wow, we have this problem for 20 years. I don't know. Do that. You don't have that with Patch Manager. Is this a shell script?
Yeah.
But yes, things are moving. It is fancy. But this is what makes everything move for us. I mean, look, when Java came into the game 20 years ago, it was Java is multi-platform. Oh my God, go to Java. But no one read the little star, right? If you got the GVM,
Right. Oh,
oh, and we cannot update that. Oh, this is static. I need to reboot to update. Oh, it's like
yeah.
saying PL SQL is multi-platform if you have Oracle installed. It's the same.
Yeah.
So
Good
everything
point.
moved with Java, moved with virtualization, moved with the cloud. I mean, it's good for us. It gives us lots of headaches, but lots of activity, work. I mean,
Right.
we are not in a position to decide anything. We just are in a position to enjoy it and learn new stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to pop up some. If you played with Dockers, you can pop this, that. I mean, it's fun. I worked with graph streaming on the web with Vega Lite library. I never did that before. It's very fun. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Think it's keeping changing, but in the background, it's almost the same. It's still the same, right? And Freddy, you were saying that you work in other companies, and most of the time you worked and lived in France, right? Before you go
Uh,
out.
yes, I lived in France till I was 40, and when I was 40, I moved in Australia. So I worked, I don't know, 18 years in France or something,
Good.
and then I moved here.
Right. And you also traveled a lot by working and by doing conference. By the way, you are an Oracle ace, right? And you, yeah.
Yes. Well, when I joined Pitian was saying we are the company with the most aces in the world. So I started
Good.
to ask the guy, "What is that?" Because honestly, I didn't know.
All right.
And then people started to explain me, and then I asked them, "How can I do that? Why not?" And then I've attended a conference. I remember one was in Gold Coast, so close to my place. And I could see some talks made by ACE directors, and honestly, some were very good, and some were, not that good. So I thought, wow, I could do that as well. So I tried to send papers, and I was selected. And a very cool thing at PTN is that you got what they call conference units. So when you are selected as a speaker, you have some money and time to travel and go there. So it helps a lot. It helped a lot. I could get that paid by a company. It's a part of the package. That that's a super cool thing. But weekend. So I started there, and after that, you say, I did it once, you know,
Hmm.
just want to try something, and I ended up even talking at Open World, which was honestly, well, it was good because it is Oracle Open World, but
Hmm.
it's more an advertising conference, and the food is very bad.
Ah, really? The food is very bad. Oh my
Oh yeah, food
God.
is very bad. I had
Hmm.
collaborate at San Antonio. Oh my
Hmm.
God, San Antonio, close to Mexico border. Ah, the food was awesome. It was awesome. And
Right.
yeah, I could meet some friends like Frankie. We met in Bulgaria. I've been in India. So yeah, that's a very good way. I don't know if I could still be doing that with in my new position, but yeah, I did that at P10 and I become an ace. Yeah, which is cool.
Right.
The
And
thing what's cool is that when you go to conference, and especially I would say in India or in Bulgaria, you can meet real people, people who know you, people who like what you're doing, and you can have real conversation, right? It is not what is your company selling, it's not a sale guy conference. It is real people saying, I have that trouble, and it's very cool to meet these guys.
right. This is a good
So it was
point.
very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Good. And thanks for sharing that. And you were saying a very good
Ah,
point.
yes.
Yeah.
Frankie said,
Of.
"Yeah, you
Yeah.
received an award from UK or UG." Yes, I got the. It is
Hmm.
upstairs. The best new overseas speaker. Overseas is huge, for UK. So, but
Cool.
I don't really know who voted for that, but I got it. So better to get that.
Right.
That can. Yes, thanks for those who voted for me. Yeah,
Right.
that was the first I was selected for, and
Good. Good. That's very nice.
yeah, yeah, it
Congratulations
was.
for that. Sure.
Oh,
That's
thank you
very
very
nice.
much. Maybe only my friends voted, or the new. I don't know, but yeah, it was cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool to go in conference. I mean, everyone should go and try to
Hmm.
talk in front of an audience. It's a very good exercise. And when you are building your slides and your talk, you learn so much because you don't want to have someone in the audience saying, "Oh no, you're wrong. No, you are missing something. You're looking like a fool." So it is
Right.
very interesting. Yeah,
Right.
like when you write a blog, right? When you write a blog, it is public. You want it to be perfect because you don't want someone to say, no, this is wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
a
That's
very
true.
good exercise.
That's very good. Do you know another very good exercise that it's also more challenging than talking public? It's do
No.
lives. Can you believe that?
Do
Do
lives.
lives,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Well,
People should think that it's not, but to me, I had some issues as everyone to talk in public and in conference, but nowadays it's fine for me. But when I started to do lives, oh my god, it was very difficult. It's different. You talk to the camera and you are alone talking, make me imagine how people are seeing this.
but you know what? I don't like to do live demos in conferences, like for example, like what Frankie did
Hmm.
in Bulgaria. I don't like that because I'm still afraid of the blue screen of death effect, right? You try 100 of time and on live it fails. But what I've always wanted to do, and maybe you can help, is to do some live session about something like you see my screen, I'm connected, you ask question, or we do something. The
Hmm.
thing is that it's very difficult to do that with client machines because everything you cannot show that publicly, right? But like a pro gamer will show how he plays, you could do a live session like 1 hour on a specific topic, showing, okay, here is how I do. I'm not sure people would be interested, but this is a kind of live thing that would be nice. Real. I don't know. The thing is that you cannot show the real machines publicly because everything is secret. But this
Right.
kind of exercise would be very fun and sharing with you can do that on whatever, YouTube, Twitch, or whatever.
That's very good. I will think about that, okay? And
Like,
You still talk about the conference. Is there any story or fun things that happened in one of this conference that you done through these years? Tell
Look,
some fun things for us.
first conference I am selected in, UK or UG 17. I started it was in December in UK. And like 1 week before the conference, or I don't know, 2 weeks, my I got old laptop just crashed. That don't reboot, just was down, but everything. Hopefully, I do my slide with Google Slides, so that was okay. But I had no laptop. So with Pityan, I could buy a new laptop, which is the one I got there. Okay, the
Good.
Dell. So I got there, and
Hmm.
I attended the conference just before mine in my room.
Hmm.
And just before this one, I just wanted to try the hardware, saying how I plug that. And this Dell has no HDMI port. It's a USB-C,
Hmm.
like the Mac. And I didn't know that. And in the room, they had only HDMI, and no one had an adapter. It was 1 hour before my conference, the first one. So
Oh my God.
I ran everywhere in the city. It was in Birmingham to find an adapter. I didn't even know what it was. And finally, I came and was sweating. Okay, I could play
Oh my God. Really. Uh,
What is your favorite conference so far? Asking for Frankie. Honestly, Sangam in India was huge
hmm.
because it was in a hotel, so everyone is there, right? Because if you go at open world in San Francisco,
Hmm.
you don't really meet the people because people go there and after that go shopping and you don't meet the people. In India, in India, I think I have lots of audience there because lots of guys in India are working, doing the things, right? So they are
Hmm.
using my scripts. So many of them knew me. I was amazed at. And oh, there is a funny story about that. Like I met
Hmm.
someone who worked for Oracle support.
Good.
And the guy told me one day we had a problem, a client, something was going wrong. This guy has a 32 nodes rack. So that's a big boy, right?
Hmm.
And something was going wrong of some nodes. Oh my God. And they were troubleshooting that. And no one could find something. And then the guy used one of my script, ls patches. So ls patches do ls inventory on all the nodes and make you a nice table and says you this patch is there, this patch is missing on one node. If you do that with Apache ls inventory minus all nodes, okay, you're still looking. And doing that, the guy found, oh my God, there is a patch missing on the node. And then he told the client, I found that, but he told me I couldn't tell him that I found that script because the client asked him, how did you find that? Can you show the script? And the guy was working for Oracle. He couldn't say, no, I found that on Fred's blog. But then they fixed it very easily because that was for me.
That's very
My
nice.
favorite, another which was very good, was Bulgaria because Bulgaria is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
familiar. We are the same, all in a hotel, all together. So very good. And yeah, in San Antonio, the food is very good. But yeah, I would say India and Bulgaria. Oh
Oh.
yes, but the food in India, the thing is that Ravi says, well, in India,
Yeah.
the food is
Uh,
good in India, but my God, it is spicy. But it's
Spicy.
very good.
That's true.
Oh my God, and when they see a little white guy like me coming, they say, well, try this one. Oh my God, it's because they know I am not used to it.
That's true. Very nice. And I have also here, Fred, some very good things that I took some notes of your talk, and you have a very good phrase that I took some notes, and maybe you can talk a little bit about this now. And you said me things like create a new tool from existing tools using scripts. It's like you usually do, right? And
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah.
hmm, and just one more here. You also said understand the concept of complicated things and make easier. This is another thing that you usually do, right? With your scripts.
Yeah, look, when I started working 20 years ago, I got a book about the Linux concept, the Unix concept. Linux was not even existing. Unix concept, and
Unix, right?
I mean, so I learned that. Maybe I still have the book. It was in French. I mean, it was still a process. What is a process? What is a memory? And everything. And it is still same. I mean, nothing has changed. I mean, the algorithm to manage memory on the system or in the SGA is the same. I mean, there is no magic trick. So it is the same. So, and we still have people nowadays doing fancy stuff, blah, 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 who don't know that a memory is meant to be always full, right? Because we will free it up when we need it. It's more expensive to free it up. And then you go in endless talking with management saying, oh, but we got an alert that it is full. Or like, oh, we have CPU is 100% for 5 minutes. What should we be doing? Well, it is good, man. It is because people are working, and maybe we should get an alert when the CPU is used as 10% because it means that our system is oversized. So, but people don't understand that because it is always the same concept, memory, hardware. You can put any flash cache, any replication, any InfiniBand super things. It is always the same. It is you read on memory, it's faster. Okay. But still, 20 years ago, people could get their data out of the database. They still can do the same now, right? So yeah, I think what people miss more is the concept of how a system works. This is why coding, whatever code is, coding helps you to understand that. I mean,
Right.
it helps you to know, oh, this is my process. If I start 10, this is, you need to understand. It's like a doctor, a doctor, when you say, I have pain here, he knows that it is linked to there and he pushes there. Oh, it's fixed, right? If you don't know that, it also helps to troubleshoot. Like, you always have that, oh, the system is hang. Okay, what can you do? DF, you do DF, it's hang. Oh, this is NFS. So yeah, I think that the lack of most of professionals nowadays are concept.
Right, and Lewis and say couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
This seek for fanciness is more present than
fanciness.
ever. Yes,
Yeah,
it's good
everyone
point.
wants things fancy, but at the end of the day, when you click on a button on the cloud, there is code running there, and at the end of the day, it is user add, at the Unix level.
That's true. Yeah.
Or ch mode, or so. But the thing is that people don't know, and this is why they are afraid, right? Because they don't know the unknown. They should read a Unix concept
Yeah.
because how it works behind that. I mean, even Windows. I mean, it is a system. It has memory. It has CPUs, right? So, but people don't know that. And this is why there is a bad habit. Like, oh, there is a problem. Okay, reboot. No, no, don't reboot. No. We will find problem, right?
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
it still usually make things work more than 50% when you reboot Windows, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we don't know. Reboot in case of, I'm sorry, but in case of what?
yeah,
Look,
that's
it is
true.
exactly the same. You always have this kind of conversation is that you need to reboot a database server, okay, with rack, with whatever it is. Okay, how do you do that? So my answer is that you type reboot or init 6. Everyone said, no,
Oh,
you have to stop the database before. And the cluster, oh, really? Why that? But because it's more clean. How come it's more clean? If they knew the concept of an operating system, they knew that you have stop script and start script, right? Provided by Oracle, which make 500 lines because they check tons of things. But still, you have
exactly.
that management. No, when you do that manually, no, it is more clean. I'm sorry, it is not. But it's a lack of a concept.
Yeah, and people usually do like some mysticisms with these concepts, too, right?
Yeah, you should just, when you don't know, you know what? When you don't know, don't do anything, right? Don't say anything.
Right. And
So,
there are more three things that you said that I really liked, and the one is learn once and you use forever. You almost said this today.
the concept, yeah.
Regarding the book, you have the book
This
that
is,
you use it in French, and it's the same thing
yeah,
nowadays.
I made a talk about recently shell script and how to improve. I mean, the
Hmm.
first chapter or the second is about if. It's stupid, right? But the same if is used for 40 years. So it's like your times table. 7 times 7 will always be 49. So learn it once and you're good forever, right?
Yeah, good.
It won't change, right? Your TV remote will change, your email will change, but that won't change. So learn it well and you're good to go. It is very easy, right? You have to learn it once. In life, you will learn, no, we are continuously learning new things, but there's so many things that are static. This is what
Yeah,
I say to my kids: learn your times table. It will never change. Never, never.
absolutely. Learn the principles. You also said,
But you
right?
know what? It is the same people who say, because in Oracle Performance, you say compile once, use forever, right? Not to hard parse everywhere. It is the same thing, you
Yep.
know. You come, no.
Yeah, and we have a comment here from Erica Nagamine, and she's saying, if you have the concept of everything, you can understand better all solutions technology. That's true.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
it
we are
is totally
saying.
right.
Yeah, and
It's totally
the
right.
last thing that it's very nice that you also said is we usually also think that if it's complicated or expensive, we
Ah, yeah,
assume that
man.
it's good.
Oh, man. I have so many examples about that. It is just,
Mm, just
yeah,
give you
yeah,
one or
things.
two to us.
Look, when look, at Pityan, my last year, I was contacted because the cloud team were not able to use the cloud tool to schedule something kind of complex with tons of dependency trees and blah, blah, blah. So
Hmm.
I did a tool in shell script because it works and it was kind of easy to do. And after some time, it was working and very well. And it is in production now. And a new team came and said, "Oh, but we want to use that tool as well because it looks good. How long it takes to set it up for us?" And the project manager said, "Well, half a day, to get the configuration done." Say, "No, no, no, it cannot work. Cannot work. No, it's not possible. Okay, give me your thing." Half a day after that, it was on prod because they are so used about people trying things for 6 months and no, just a configuration, what you want to run, your user, password, end of the story. You have
Yep.
so many things like that. It is like how to reboot a machine. Just reboot. Oh, no, no, it's too easy. It cannot be like that. We need to check this, check that, restart. No, I mean,
That's
things are
true.
simple. If they are complicated, you know what? You should throw it away and restart from scratch. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's too complex, it won't work. Look, I don't know. Look, when I moved in Australia, I said to my kids, if we have a big land, we're going to buy some chicken. So we bought some chicken. The thing in Queensland, here in Australia, everything can kill you. So during the night, you can have a fox, a snake, a spider killing the chicken. So
Hmm.
I made a kind of a big box, super big, and they are locked down. But the thing is that as we have a big land, we wanted the chicken to be free range for the day. So we opened the door, but we wanted to lock them down during the night. So, you do it that once, twice, and you say, oh my God, it's boring, right? So I started to Google for it. And people were having some automatic thing plug on the battery and something to open the door, lock the door. I say, oh my God, I will have to change the battery. It's going to rain on it. Some have solar panel. I say, okay, come on, no, no. And look, I found a very good feature of the chicken. You know what? When they sleep, they go in a rooster on a wood stick
Oh my God.
because they
Yeah.
are birds.
Hmm.
So I made a balance, and then when they go there, it balances and lock the door. And
Hmm.
in the morning, they wake up and it opens the door.
Hmm.
This is with gravity and chicken instinct. So it costs
Good.
zero and it will stop working when gravity will stop working. No battery, no complex stuff. So, just have to think about when it's complicated, it doesn't.
So you
Ah,
are
this
a
is
Right, you are a very good guy and showing us how to uh, not waste money or use money to expensive things. We can do things with a very easier solution or very cheaper
Yeah,
solution.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Honestly, sometimes I start some scripts and oh no, it's not too complex. I remove them. It's bad. It's gonna be bad at the end of the day. It's gonna be unmaintainable. It is useless. I mean,
yeah. And
you need.
this,
I don't know.
hmm, please keep going.
You know, when you start your vacuum cleaner, what do
Hmm.
you need? On, off, empty. That's it, right? So everything else is useless. You don't. So it's the same for the script I made. I mean, we should. It should be simple.
Okay, we have a comment here of Leonard. He says just chicken and gravity. I made a t-shirt of that. If you made for you, made one for me too. It's gonna be nice.
It
uh,
is true. It also proves that
hmm,
people don't read documentation and people don't try to find the features of a tool.
yep.
The chicken has that feature. It
Hmm,
is documented, right? It is
right.
known. It is the same. Very often people reinvent the wheel, but you know what? With grep, that option, just read the doc, it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
Fred, with yeah, sure, yeah, and with this mindset, if I would say like that, that you are telling to us, it was with this mindset that you created so many good script and share with everyone. Also without costs and like, hey, I'm doing some good stuff here, and it's available for everyone to take and use, and
Yeah, yeah, sure.
that's very
Sure,
nice.
sure. Also, I have implemented new features. Some guys contacted me and say, well, you're not doing that. Oh, okay, well, let me try. Sometimes I refuse because it would make the script too complicated. For example, in rack status, people ask me, there is no information about the PDBs. Yes, but the cluster doesn't know about PDBs, right?
Hmm.
The concept of PDBs is unknown about them. So I cannot really easily have that. So GI20C was supposed to bring that. Well, I think it's going to be postponed and not be released. But once it is available, I will show the PDBs. But I don't want
Hmm.
to modify that now because it is not meant for that. It would
Right.
be incredibly complicated. So I'm sorry, guys.
Right. Okay, that's fine. You helped us a lot,
It's
and and but it's a good thing that you shared that sometimes you make some updates, and this is good. You do, and you also keep sharing all of this with us. That's
you,
very nice.
you know, I think that in our job we need to be proud and lazy. Right? Lazy because you don't want to redo the
Right.
boring stuff again, so do it once and use it forever.
Right.
And proud because you say, okay, my code's gonna be watched by everyone, right? So you need to be proud and say, okay, I want my script to be good. So it pushes you to work hard
Mhm.
because you don't want someone to say, oh, what you did was bad. So I think that being proud and lazy is our best
Yeah.
qualities.
And Frank is saying here, it's worth noting that Fred develops tool in Shell because he has a Python in the backyard.
A Python? No, come on. In the backyard,
Well,
we have Python. Yeah, in Australia, we have Python somewhere,
yeah,
sometimes in the backyard.
good. Uh, well, we have another question here, Fred, from Erica Nagamini. Some comments before, and she's saying, Fred, when he know or have the feeling that be a DBA, it's a good for his career. This is a good question. When you realize that, oh,
Okay,
I'm gonna be a DBA, or this is a good for me, and I like this career.
so never. So never,
Never.
because I started as a developer for 1 year, and after that, my company told me we have a big project with that guy on the opposite side of France. I said
Hmm.
yes. I didn't know what Oracle was. I didn't even know where the city was. It was on the opposite side. So I said yes. So I didn't know what it was. So honestly, it would have been something else. I would have done that. So it's really by chance. And at this time, we were doing sysadmin and DBAs. We were taking everything.
Right.
So I pursue about DBAs because I liked it. but honestly, it was not really a choice. I just wanted to do some IT stuff,
Hmm.
and so I didn't know. I didn't know it was even existing. I didn't know what Oracle was. I didn't know what a database was.
Right.
I started
Just
from
happened.
scratch, from a
Yeah.
blank page.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Um, Guys, I unfortunately need to tell that we already are. Actually, we are almost 1 hour and a half in this golden talk, and it's been very nice. I'm enjoying a lot, and I think you too. Here with Freddy Dennis. So if you have some more questions or comments, I would ask you to put right now because we are going almost to the end of our talk today, okay? And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Fred, there is one more thing that we didn't talk, and I like it very much when you told me, and I also went to search and see, oh, what was that? And the thing is, about to ask about the number 42. So, what is 42? Tell us what is this? Because when I heard about you, I thought, oh my god, this is kind of interesting. Let me search about it.
The thing is that in the maybe in the 70s or something, a guy wrote a book about building a machine able, a robot able to answer all the questions, like what's the difference between a man and a woman, how many people on Earth, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And then I don't exactly remember, but the concept that one day a guy came and said, "What is the secret of life?" or a question like that, and the machine started to compute and last and started to burn and everything, and at the end it blows up, just printing that 42 number. So it is the answer to everything basically. By the way, I see that this episode is number 41. I am very disappointed not being number 42. So
Right.
when you don't know something, you can answer 42, and this is the answer to everything. You can
Good.
reply 42. It's
Good.
the answer
So,
to everything, right, Leonardo? Yeah,
yeah.
this
So,
is a reply.
if someone asks from where we came, what is the
Yeah,
universe? So
42.
it's 42. Okay, this is very good.
42. When you don't
All
know, you
right.
can answer 42, and okay, okay, fair
Okay,
enough.
that's fine. That's very
That's a
good.
geek private joke.
Yeah. Okay, maybe Leonardo, you can do two t-shirts. One with 42 is the answer of the universe, and the other one is just chicken and
42.
gravity. Right.
It's just chicken and gravity. Yeah.
Gravity, that's right. And so, Freddy, I want to. Um, oh my God, I forget the word now. I want to ask you. I want to. Oh my God, sorry for that. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sometimes this usually happen in Portuguese, all right, but now it's happening in
Uh-huh.
English. Uh, I want to ask you. Thank you very much to you accept
Thanks for having
our
me.
invite. We was very
That's
honored
okay.
to have you here on the Golden Talks. I want also to thank Frank that he uh, did this golden gate, this bridge to we talk to you, and
Yeah,
you we
anytime.
have you here. Thanks for sharing all of the information here on the Golden Talks, all of your experience, all the things that you told and the tips. It was very nice. Uh,
That's good.
Thank you everyone that it's watching us and was until now participate and comment and enjoying of everything of this program. And Fred, if you wanna tell some words, you can feel free. Uh, you
Yeah,
can. Okay, please go
I
ahead.
hope we will break the number of views that Gangnam Style did on YouTube, and it will
Good.
be good, right?
Right, that's good.
Now it was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Erica, I have a question. Okay, go, Erica.
Okay,
You know what? If not, you can contact me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn chat is
good.
good. I have the app on my phone. I have no share in LinkedIn, right? But I have the app in my phone. You can ping me.
Right, and
How
just
is the today in Australia? Well, Alex, yeah, sure. Oh, okay. You know where to find good food. Great. Let's go. Because the one provided by Open One is very bad. Okay,
good.
Alex. Okay. They took the meeting. So Erica, well, since DBA Carrot today in Australia, it's the same as everywhere. I mean, DBA doesn't really exist anymore. It's just a kind of a mix of all that. I mean, Australia, no different. But Australia is a very
Mm,
good country. Okay,
right,
which
right.
open world do you mean, Alex? Because there's more than one now. I was talking about San Francisco.
Yeah. And the Leonardo always say, Fred Dennis, pleased to meet you in person at last. Frankie, thanks for making this happen. Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Thanks, Frankie. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and if you wanna have some contact with Freddy, we add his contacts on
My
the
details.
description
Yeah.
of this video, okay? And I have one tip for you. Uh, Freddy did a conference live some days ago. He's talking about shell script, and if you want to learn
Ah,
more,
yes.
yeah, take a look at that. And he said something very interesting. First, the first thing of everything is to master the basics. So he teaches
Yeah.
how to master
Exactly.
the basics with shell script, and this is very nice. I watched the video and it's very amazing. You should also take a look. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I put that. If you want to contact me, I just put my LinkedIn message thing
yeah,
is good.
yeah. Okay. So
Everyone
guys,
for attending.
yeah. Thank you everyone once again. And just remember, if you didn't give your like on this video, please give your like to us. If you're not subscribed in this channel,
I did.
take the time now to subscribe and see the other guys that will keep bringing to the Golden Talks. Most of the times in Portuguese, but sometimes we will try to bring some guys and talk in English. Okay. So once again, thank you everyone. Thank you, Fred. Very pleased to have
Thanks,
you here
everyone.
again. And that's it. We are at the end of our Golden Talks of today. Okay.
Okay.
So
Anytime for episode number 2.
right, 42, right? Okay. See you guys on the
See
next
you
Golden
guys.
Talks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.